Hi, thanks for logging into my Patreon. Today I want to talk about drawing skills. Many years ago, I taught art to homeschooled students, and one of my favorite classes was what I called advanced drawing, but it was basic drawing essentially, but it was a pretty intensive class designed to move students forward in drawing skills, and this was taught to children that were about 13 years upward. But the course was based on the book Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. And I find that book and the concepts one of the best approaches I've seen over the years in terms of art skills. So one of the basic things in this book in the beginning is pointing out that many children hit a crisis point in drawing and art ability around age 9. So in terms of child development, age 9 is around the time of children move into the stage of abstract thinking versus concrete operational thinking. I think that model was, as I recall from the University of Delaware classes, I think that was Piaget's model. So basically, when a child is young and they draw a person or a car, and they bring it to a parent. And of course, it's a childlike drawing. It's not literal. It's distorted. It's just simple. And the child is just delighted. And that's their mommy. That's their daddy, no matter how off in proportion it is. And when children reach around the age of 9 or 10, they begin to observe that their drawing doesn't look real, is what they will say. They'll want to make a horse drawn that looks real, or for something to really look like their mom or their dad or a car. And they find themselves frustrated and discouraged. And because at this point it's a critical stage. Either the child starts to get some training in how to draw to achieve their goal, or perhaps they're not able to get some encouragement and instruction at that point, and they give up. And they turn into adults that say, I can't draw a stick figure or a circle or a straight line. And the truth of the matter, I'm fending off some cats here as I make this video. Oh, there they go. Okay. Bear with me. I'm distracted. The truth of the matter is that drawing is not simply a physical skill. I mean, I imagine a lot of people think, oh, it has to do with hand ability or coordination. And yeah, there may be some truth in that some people have a steadier hand than others. But most people can sign their name and, do printing and writing without any difficulty, repeatedly. So it really is a matter, according to the ideas in the book, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, of how we think about drawing and how we see. It's not a dexterity issue, it's a seeing issue. So the book has a number of exercises designed to help people quiet down the left side of their brain, which is the verbal side that provides a lot of chatter in that obstructs our ability to draw. If we're constantly talking to ourselves and saying, okay, how big do I make the eye, and does it look like an eyeball, or does it look like a cat, or and we're just talking and talking, like it impedes our ability to work from the visual spatial side of our brain, the right side of the brain. which is that which is involved in drawing and in seeing. So these exercises, some of them seem, I remember the students thought they were weird things to do, like spend a whole half hour just drawing the lines on a crumpled piece of paper while not looking at it, like blind contour drawing, basically. So it's been a while since I've taught this course, but I'm interested in the new technology now where I could make a 15-part video instructional series, maybe 45-minute segments, where I present the concepts and demonstrate and give some assignments. And I could see like releasing a video every 2 weeks, because I'm sure it would take a lot of time to put those together. But the premise in the book is that drawing is a global skill, meaning once you learn it, you never forget. Examples of other global skills would be riding a bicycle, reading. So when you learn to read, you first learn to recognize letters, and then you learn the sounds, and then the blends, the combinations, and pretty soon you're taught to put the whole thing together. And the same thing with bike riding. You learn to pedal, and then you learn to balance and steer, and but once you learn to ride a bike, you usually don't forget, unless something like a stroke or something might change that global skill. It's a complex skill that's learned in the brain, and it's basically that they talk about the gestalt. All the components come together when you learn to read. So the book has 4 basic areas of seeing that's involved in perceptual skills in drawing. The first is the perception of lines or contours. The second is the perception of spaces, which would be shapes, and this includes both positive shapes and negative shapes. The negative space that's around objects can, sometimes if we draw what is around something, it helps us to define what the object actually is shaped like. And there are specific drawing assignments, exercises that help develop that skill. And then the third skill is perception of relationships, which we often call perspective. Perspective is simply a perceiving of how different objects relate to one another in terms of size and in distance, and the angles and things like that. So then there's the perception of light and shadow, and that's my favorite separate skill in the collective global skills of drawing. I just love light and shadow. That's the thing. If my lines or shapes might be a little off at times, it really can come to life with that element of the light and shadow. So, and then of course, putting all 4 of those component skills together is what is called the gestalt, the wholeness of the skill. Anyway, just giving a little introduction here. I think that maybe there could be some homeschooling families looking for art instruction, or children in public school that are gifted and want some extra instruction. And there may be adults, that have always wanted to draw but felt they just couldn't. This is for any age. I'd say age, even as young as 10 could possibly. I mean, that's going to be difficult for them because they're still getting past that hump of abstract thinking, concrete, and they may be a little frustrated by some of the types of drawing exercises in terms of understanding, well, why would we do this thing? This nonsense assignment But I'd say by the time at 12, 13 years old, definitely high schoolers, all the way up to age 99, retired people, um, I think it would be a good course. So if you're interested, please please consider pledging, supporting. If I reach $200 in monthly pledges, I will begin to make the first of the 15-part series. And so that's my goal. And we got Mr. Marley here, Supervisor Cat. He's trying to help me in some way, right, Marley? Have a good day.